Today is a very good day for me and my family. We're celebrating our daughter's, we recently celebrated her 5th birthday. So that was fun, and that was awesome. Today, though, we're celebrating, I guess it's like graduation day. It's, I don't know what it's called these days. It's like a ceremony for, like, pre-K. And so that's what we're doing today. Before we do that, though, I wanted to get this video recorded because, again, this idea I've had in my head has been bouncing around in my brain, and I got to get it out. I don't have any notes, so it's all off the rip. Okay, now the video I'm gonna title this about this topic, I guess, the way I'm going to word the video, I should say, is this: being on government assistance sucks. It fucking blows. I probably will cut that last part out of the title, but it fucking blows. Let me count the ways why. And this is like a full disclosure kind of thing. So my family, currently, we don't make enough money on a monthly basis to pay for all the bills. Food is extremely difficult to pay for these days for us. So that's the main thing that we're receiving assistance on at this time. And we have been I can't even remember when we started, but it's probably been over a year now that we've received assistance, And even with the money we receive to pay for our groceries, even that amount sometimes is not enough. There are, I would say, there's probably like a week to maybe 2 week gap from when the money runs out to when we get a new payment, basically, so that we can buy some groceries. That gap is where we have to kind of stretch our food out. We have to kind of meal prep a little better, make like some crock pot meals that last maybe like 3 to 4 days sometimes. Like, I can do that, but having a kid, she's not down for that all the time, like, that's like, kids, for those of you that have kids, you probably know this. They get bored with food, and even the food that you think is like a sure thing, like mac and cheese. You're like, oh yeah, kids love mac and cheese. Sometimes our kid doesn't even want that. Sometimes that is not enough. It's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? She doesn't even want the most basic kind of food for a kid, mac and cheese. Okay, let's get creative, So we get the assistance, but it's still not enough to cover all of our food expenses, which is crazy. Even for a family of 3, the amount we're getting, I would think, would be plenty. And then we go to the grocery store and we see the reality of how far that money goes. And so it leads me into this video of being on assistance fucking sucks. Because and this is something that I saw in one of the Staple Crew's one of their most recent Patreon videos. Alan made a comment that, Biden was doing something about the Frito-Lay. There was something with Frito-Lay where they were like putting too much air in their bags of chips, and it wasn't a full bag of chips, basically, and people had a problem with that. But his point was, you're looking at the wrong guy. The real criminal isn't the Frito-Lay company. The real criminal is the government, because of all of the inflation that they've created for us to deal with, And so, going back to the grocery store, we're seeing that the prices of everything, being what they are, and it sucks. It sucks being on welfare, because being on welfare does just enough to get you by, but it will never put you in a position to get out of the hole that you're in. And me kind of being vulnerable with you about talking about this openly, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of being on welfare. It's just what we have to do right now to get through this situation that we find ourselves in. Like, I'm actively looking for work. I'm applying for jobs and submitting resumes and putting myself out there to as many people that I can that may know who's hiring and all that. And these things take time, and it's frustrating. It's one of those things where it's like, I want to get to work as soon as possible so that we can get out of this hole that we're in, because I don't want to be on government assistance. I'm seeing firsthand what that means for us, and also I'm getting firsthand experience of what it's like for millions upon millions of other people out there right now who maybe they're already working, right? They're already doing what they're supposed to be doing. They've got a full-time job. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing to be a productive member of society, and it's still not fucking enough, right? So for me, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, right now government assistance is keeping us off the streets. Let's say that, right? Like, we're making some money with our business. Well, I should say my wife's business, but it's, the royal we, right? Because I help her from time to time. Obviously, I don't have a job, so, I'm kind of available right now. So it keeps us off the streets. Sure, okay, great. But we don't have any money outside of every single dollar that we make going towards paying for our utilities, for our bills, and our expenses. Because obviously with my wife running a business, she has her own business expenses. And so every dollar that she makes from that business, it's not going back into the business. That's one of those things where it's like, we don't want that for her business. We want her money that she makes from it to be self-sustaining, so that the money she makes stays in the business. The money goes back into the business. Fresh money can continue to go into it, so she can grow it and it can be more prosperous down the line. But right now, that's one of those things that we're dealing with. And so, sure, we're not on the streets. We're not being completely on our ass. That's, that's fine. But I don't want that anymore. I don't want to stay in that system. This is what the system is giving, to us at this time, But welfare is never, it's not the answer, you know what I mean? It's a band-aid. It's meant to be temporary, but for so many people, who are already doing what they're supposed to be doing, they don't have any other choice but to stay within that system of getting that assistance, because I've learned that people who get on some of these programs, they start making money. They start making actual money, not just to pay the bills, but now they have money to get a better car, to invest, to have better insurance for themselves and their kids, you know, like now they're able to build on top of what they're already doing, right? But because of the amount that they're making, now they don't qualify for all these government assisted programs. Now they're back to a place where they're on the hook for all of it. And because of that, it just puts them back at square, back at square one. You know, it's not sustainable. They're like, now I make money, but all of it goes to paying for all these, things that we need, like insuring for yourself, right? Your health care, insuring for your kids. Proper insurance, sometimes isn't cheap. I mean, you get the basic insurance from like, Obamacare or whatever. And yeah, you get like basic preventative and stuff like that, but it's not good. It's not good insurance. You know what I mean? You got to pay to play, in that realm, right? Like this is a lot to speak on in one video, and I'm trying to pace myself, but I got to get it out because it rolls around in my head sometimes, and I don't want to lose sleep on it. That's number one. I don't want to lose time with my family having this shit roll around in my head. So getting it out now while the kid's in school, while we're preparing for her ceremony, it's a great time to do all this. Anyways, so being on that assistance was never the answer for us. It's not the long-term answer. In no way is it our way out. Like I get a job, I start making money, then we can start paying for all the bills. Then we can get off of the assistance. Meanwhile, my wife's business can actually thrive on its own without having to bleed money to pay for our rent and our utilities and our food and all that, right? I've already invested as much as I could when I could into those digital assets, that I've talked about before, and that was another thing that I had to make peace with our situation is like, if I don't have a job, I can't invest in good conscience. I can't just be thinking about, oh, well, these crypto projects, they're going to be monumental in price, not too far from now. If I can just scrap together as much money as I can to just invest in that, then we'll be okay down the line. Meanwhile, we're staring down the barrel of having to pay for rent every month, and it's sometimes not enough. Sometimes we have to look at how much we're bringing in, and it's like, ooh, yeah, we're not going to be able to cover these expenses, and then that's the situation we find ourselves in, where we require that assistance financially. And that's why it's like, for me, it's like I can't in good conscience continue thinking about investing when we're not even in a position to pay for our basic needs right now, and it does piss me off at times. I do get frustrated at myself for not being able to provide for my family and put us in a position so that we can thrive, and I have to be patient. That's the main lesson, is that I've definitely focused on patience more than anything else, because these things will come to us. Me and my wife have talked about that at length throughout this entire time, you know, and we've stayed unified in that thought process. I'm grateful for that we've stayed together on it. We haven't gotten into big ass money fights about, you know, the situation. Like, we know what we're dealing with, and we know we're going to deal with it together, and that's what's kept us going throughout it all. And especially with a kid, it's one of those things where it's like, you know you want to provide more for your kid than what you had when you were growing up, and if the circumstances don't match up with that, it sucks, you know. And so it's just one of those things where I'm experiencing all this firsthand, and I'm experiencing what it means to be on assistance firsthand, you know, and yeah, it just fucking sucks. But it's never been in us to just sit back and just watch the money roll in when it's not earned. You know, we're not entitled. We don't feel entitled to it. It's just something that we know is available to us and we need, and that's what it's for, right? So, I guess I say all this to say that I make these videos to show you that there is a very real aspect to all this when it comes to me talking about getting out of the system that we all reside in, and moving into a higher vibration using digital assets to change your life, you know? Like, when I speak on those things, it's because I believe it, and I don't waver in that belief. I've said before, belief is a powerful thing. And so I believe in what I've invested in will provide that life-changing wealth that we require in order to get out of the hole that we find ourselves in, but also thrive. And then on top of that, also help others get out of similar situations financially. Like, there are so many people who are struggling right now. And so, being one of those people, I don't feel sorry for myself, but I feel worse for those people, because they're not in a position to invest in things that, you know, that I speak on. That's what sucks the most. It's like, I can show people what this technology can do. People in the crypto space can show you how powerful crypto is and where it's going, and how its adoption is going to forever change our world on a day-to-day basis. We can show you all of that stuff. We can show you all the evidence of where it's going and where it's taking us. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the money to invest in these products, you find yourself in the category of being a product of your environment. You're not able to take advantage of the opportunities. That's who I really sympathize with the most. I mean, it's one thing to be ignorant of the opportunity, but it's another to know that it's there and understand why it is an opportunity. and yet not be able to take advantage of it. So for people who find themselves in, say, my boat, where it's like you gotta do what you gotta do to pay the bills, and if that requires you to be on assistance, then do what you have to do, right? It's just one of those things where it's like you deserve better, you deserve more than that, and I don't know what you're going through to get out of that situation. I hope you are making strides to get out and to make lasting changes in your life for you and your family. I just know that for me, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be stuck in this dynamic. I don't want my family to be dealing with this a year from now. Like a year from now, I want to be as far away from this situation as possible. I want it to be in the rearview mirror. I want us to be financially secure. That's the main thing. Freedom is on our path, but security with our finances, that comes first. And right now, that's not what we have. So for me, that's what I want, and that's what I'm striving towards, and that's what I'm trying to manifest every day. It's not easy, but that's what I can focus my energy on and my attention towards, all the while being present with my family. And those things will combine and total up into something that will match what we're in alignment with, and the hope is that it's in the alignment of prosperity and abundance. So whatever the hell this video is about, it's just to say, like, I may be on assistance, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm definitely not celebrating any of it right now. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful that we have what we have right now, whatever that is, and we're moving towards something better for ourselves. And for you, I hope that's I hope that's what you take from this video, is that if you're doing what you need to do to climb out of the hole, just know that I'm rooting for you. I want you to keep going. It sucks. It's going to suck. But when you get to that, when you get to that place where you can actually breathe and celebrate and enjoy your life, you will know that it was because of you. It wasn't because of them. They're not going to be the ones that pull you out of that fucking hole. You are. And you can be proud of that shit. And your kids can look at you and they can be proud of that shit too. That's something that I think about. It's like, I'm glad that my kid doesn't feel how I feel right now. I'm glad that they're not experiencing what I experienced growing up as a kid. They don't know what it means to be hungry. Like, not just, oh man, I haven't eaten in 2 hours, I want a snack. Not that kind of hunger. The kind of hunger where it hurts. Where your insides hurt. Where it feels like your body is eating itself. Like that kind of hunger. I know that. And I'm grateful that my kid doesn't know what that means. And I will do whatever it takes so that she never experiences that. And I know that's on your mind as well, that you will do whatever it takes to make sure that your kid never feels that pain, never experiences that. So keep going. I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering you on. And tomorrow, tomorrow's just another chance, right? If we get another chance to live our lives in the present, be with our people, and do what we need to do, then go you. You're number one. You're a legend. Remember that. So, yeah, I'm going to end it there. Cleansing breath. I'm grateful for you for listening to this, whoever you are out there. And I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep making these videos, whatever I want to talk about. That's what this channel really is, Sometimes it's about crypto, sometimes it's just about fuck the government. That's what this channel is, and I embrace it. That's me. I embrace it, right? I hope you do too. Anyways, take care. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And I can't say enough. I really can't. I appreciate you out there. Love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.